We're going to talk about the trend of atomic size from the periodic table. Hello, my name is Don Cavanaugh. Now, this right here is meant to be the periodic table, just kind of sketched out. I hope you can recognize kind of the sawtooth north edge of the periodic table. And I've only drawn in a handful of atoms for the sake of comparison and just kind of get our bearings straight. So in the upper left-hand corner, we have hydrogen. In the upper right-hand corner, we have helium. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen are kind of all that nice little triad. In the upper right-hand corner, iron down here, iron in the middle, excuse me. The trend for atomic size, you can make a general estimate about which atom is larger or smaller based on its location of the periodic table. As you go down the periodic table, increasing every row you go down the periodic table adds another layer of electrons to the outside of the atom. It's like adding layers to an onion. So when you go down the periodic table, you can bet that atoms are getting larger. Larger. So if we are comparing, say, these atoms here, helium to bismuth, excuse me, let's say nitrogen to bismuth, we can make a bet that bismuth is much larger than nitrogen solely on the idea that it has more layers of electrons outside of it. Left to right. When you go trying to keep my words consistent here. When you go right to left, the atoms get larger on the periodic table. This has to do with a combination of the attractive force of the nucleus while you were adding electrons. When you add an as you move from right to left on the periodic table, you're removing an electron and removing a proton and a neutron, most often, from the nucleus. So the attractive force of the nucleus becomes less and less, it becomes less and less massive, and the atoms get larger as you move from right to left. So for example, comparing oxygen to carbon, we would bet that carbon is a larger atom than oxygen because of this trend here. Let's do a little bit of comparisons here. If we have bismuth and chlorine on the periodic table, which of these is going to be larger? We would bet that bismuth is going to be larger based on this trend, and it has more shells of electrons here. What about magnesium versus chlorine? We put our fingers on magnesium and chlorine. We see that they are in the same row and moving right to left. Magnesium must be the bigger or the larger, greater diameter, greater radius, greater atom with the most volume. Thank you.